Just a heads up before we start this episode, we end up getting pretty drunk and recorded for a lot longer than we normally do. So we've split into two parts. And in the second part, you can hear we're a little bit worse for wear and things get a little bit strange. So you've been warned. Enjoy.
You do look as if you're struggling to rekindle that romantic spark in the bedroom. Add some crunch to your lovemaking this lockdown with Sex Crisps. Now in 33 different flavours. These aren't just crisps. These are Sex Crisps. Three, two, one, action. We're live. Hello world listeners, welcome back to Calculated Drivel, the Freedom Frontier Isolation Sessions. Brought to you by none other than our new sponsor, Sex Crisps. As a Calculated Drivel listener, you can save 5%, yes, 5% off your first order of Sex Crisps if you use the discount code I've Seen a Dog. Add some crunch to your lovemaking with Sex Crisps. You know you want to. Good evening, Matt. We're live.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm alright, how are you?
Very good, very good. I'm feeling elated based on our new long-term sponsor deal that we've recently sealed.
Yeah.
No pun intended on the ceiling of a packet of crisps, by the way. How do you feel about it? What are your initial thoughts? What's your reaction?
It's pretty amazing. It's the first time we've had a sponsor that's actually sent us some of their product, which is cool. They sent 2 cases of Sex Crisps to the Calculated Drivel office.
Yeah.
Which was very nice of them. Obviously, we're working from home at the moment, so we had to go and get that, which is a bit annoying, but it's very kind of them. And it was a mixed case, so we got quite a few different ones to try. I don't know what was your favourite?
I've not actually seen the box yet, but I knew it. I was aware of its arrival yesterday afternoon. And Matt, from your initial sort of glance at the box, and obviously you picked it up and brought it back to your property in London. Do you have your eyes on any particular flavours? Are you looking to try any of them out?
It's quite a collection. It's their whole range of, I think it's 30 different flavours. So it's too many to go through now, but some of the notable ones, the roast dinner.
Wow.
That's quite interesting.
Roast dinners in general.
Just roast. It just says roast dinner on it. I'm quite intrigued by some of the sweet flavours. There's an Eton Mess flavour, which does sound quite sexy.
Yeah.
And but I've never had a sweet crisp before, so yeah, just quite excited to spend the rest of the week with an erection.
Yeah. Well, that's with you know, 2 of Matt's favourite pastimes. One of them being the word he just said, which I don't need to repeat. Maybe a sound effect would work. And yeah, crisps. You've always been a big crisp eater over the years. Studying architecture with Matt, one of the cravings he'd have sort of late in the studios, one pushing towards 2 in the morning, was it's always a pack of salted crisps. And I'm the same. They're brilliant, you know. But this is a whole new crisp we're just discovering.
Yeah.
But look, this show is getting personal already, and we're on the 5th episode of Calculated Drivel, the Freedom Frontier Lockdown Sessions. Go ahead.
I was going to say we should. Do you want to give a introduction to this episode?
Yeah.
And what we're special episode.
So,
but for now, I think we can just say he's Calculated Drivel's resident wine expert.
guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, anyone who's listening to the show, today, or tonight, depending on where you are. We have a scarily special show this week. We will be catching up with none other than one of the world's most reasonable wine experts out there. He has spent time working in viticulture everywhere from South Africa to California, with a brief pit stop in Macclesfield and Brighton, UK. Fasten your seatbelts, fill up your glasses, and brace yourself for a wine party interview like no other. World listeners, we give you Hugh. How are you, Hugh?
I'm very well, thank you. That's a real introduction.
Yeah, do you feel introduced?
Yeah, no, very much so. Yeah, no.
I feel like that brief pit stop in Macclesfield that you mentioned is probably about
I feel
20
like
years.
Yeah. I was going to say, I lived there for about 18 years, and then I'm actually there now. So I'd say, it's a bit more than the brief pit stop.
But I guess
yeah.
At the current moment in time, this is an induced pit stop, I guess. You weren't planning on living in Mac in June this year.
Yeah, totally unplanned. So yeah, like you said, I was in South Africa until the end of March, working, making wine down there, and then as the kind of coronavirus pandemic spread around the world, I thought best not to be in lockdown in South Africa, so came back to the UK.
Yeah.
And I've been in sunny Macclesfield ever since.
There you have it. Matt, have you got anything you want to...
I was just going to say, is there anything from Mark's introduction that you think was missing that you'd like to add? Who are you?
Who am I?
Yeah, who are you?
Oh, is it like what's my relationship to you two?
Who are you?
Why do I associate with people like you?
Yeah.
Or you can choose to answer that question however you want.
Yeah.
Who are you in the philosophical sense? Whatever you want.
Who am I? I'm just a humble winemaker. Trying to make the world better, one bottle of wine at a time.
Wow, look at that. That's something. I mean, this is when I got the phone call from Matt saying, "Mark, drop what you're doing. I've got an idea for the show." I said, "Matt, talk to me," and he said, "What are your thoughts on an in-house wine expert who can intermittently appear on the show, shed light on wine, shed light on wine issues, and help make the world a better place one bottle at a time?" So,
I mean, if you want to compete with Saturday Kitchen, they have a wine expert on every week.
Do.
Yeah, I mean, I do see. I have listened to the podcast, and I would say Saturday Kitchen are probably your kind of direct competitor.
right. I mean, Matt, how do you feel about potential competitors coming into the market and people we're up against? Are you wary of them? Are you excited by the prospect of locking horns with them?
I'm excited, but I'm not scared. I'll put it that way.
Right. Fighting Talk from our the Calculated Drivel co-host.
Fighting Talk, coincidentally, is another one of our rivals.
The boxing podcast.
Yeah,
the Five Live.
We are looking to extend into sports in the new year.
Really?
But I don't want to say too much about that.
So just to clear up for the world listener, Hugh is an old school friend of mine, but then also became a friend of Mark's through the time that they both lived in Brighton. I guess I was the middleman in that relationship, but then the relationship flourished without my presence.
Yeah, we got rid of you. We didn't need you anymore.
Yeah. I think Hugh and I actually had a discussion one evening. Hugh said, "You know what, Mark? There's something better about what's going on right now here." And I said, "Is it Matt not being here?" He said, "Bullseye." And now, all I want to say is, Matt, we're glad to have you back. And it was just a moment Hugh and I were going through, and we enjoyed it, but it's gone past now. We're moving forward.
Yeah, it's good. You got to get those things out of your system.
Yeah, we had our time, but now we're ready to bring you back into the fold.
Yeah. Hugh, would you like to give us a quick introduction to the bottles we have?
Well, wait, hang on. Hold it right there, Mark. Before we get too bogged down in all the wine stuff, I just wanted to ask you the questions that we ask all of our guests. The first one is, Hugh, have you ever seen a dog?
Yes, I have.
You have?
A dog?
Yeah, a dog.
Yeah, I've seen a dog, yeah.
Interesting. And how did you know it was a dog?
It had 4 legs. It was kind of had a kind of hair all over its body.
Lions
It had
have
paws.
4 legs.
Yeah, it sounds like you're just
Bears have paws and 4 legs. We'll have you know, Hugh.
What do dogs do? I don't know. Well, I suppose it was obedience. That's how I knew it was a dog. I suppose a lion or a bear you couldn't really domesticate.
Not to the same extent, anyway. Based on, and if there are any bear experts, I don't mean bear experts in terms of experts who aren't clothed. I mean experts on bears. Please do drop us a line. But do continue, Hugh. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I think I was pretty. I mean, you're making me actually question myself now, but I think it.
Yeah,
I think it probably was a dog.
We're yet to have anyone on the show who can confirm they've seen a dog, but it's good. I feel like you might have seen a dog.
It's a good story.
I mean, from what I've said, it sounds like I might have seen a dog.
Yeah, maybe. Was it playing fetch?
No, it wasn't that kind of dog.
Okay.
It was a kind of take a stick and run away from you kind of dog.
Does it sound like a dog to me?
Anyway, moving on to the final question. How do you clean your sieves?
How do I clean my sieves? Yeah, it's a tough one actually.
I'll say.
I honestly think you can never get a sieve fully clean.
Interesting.
I think it's
me and Mark have discussed this before, and we now just buy a new sieve every time.
But just throw it away.
Burn it.
Well, before the pandemic, I didn't throw them away. I offered them to kids or young children who had an upcoming Tin Man or some sort of cyber robot costume on the cards, either for a children's party or an event, and I'd donate that sieve to them for that event. But I've had to sort of stop that since the pandemic because there's less parties going on for kids mainly.
Pandemic, or shall we say sieve-demic?
Well,
am I
there
right?
you go. Guys, anyone having issues with sieves since the lockdown, please do share your thoughts and how you're experiencing it, because we know it's tough. Matt can vouch for that. Matt is the dishwasher in his house. He does not have a dishwasher. So anyone listening with dishwashers, bloody buck your ideas up and appreciate them, because imagine if you were the dishwasher. So yeah, Matt, should we let...
I feel like the listener has a good kind of idea of you after answering those questions. So let's move on to the wine.
Hugh, talk to us about tonight. What are we drinking?
Okay, so we're going to do a tasting of 2 wines.
Sorry, I should say, if you are listening to this and you haven't bought the wines, then pause it now. You can find out which wines we're drinking from our Facebook page. Go out and buy them, and then come back straight away. We'll be here. And you can drink along with us.
Okay.
Do you think that's great? Do you think that's enough time for them to go down to Aldi and pick them up?
I think for most people they should have made it down. I do have to say I have made the mistake of putting both wines in the fridge, so they're both cold. So we'll see how that pans out. Luckily,
well, we can talk about that decision later on and decide if it was the right one.
Interesting.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Okay, right. So we've got 2 wines, both purchased from Aldi, which I think is a really good retailer for kind of inexpensive, kind of sub £8 wines. We've got both wines are from Australia, from South Australia, to be specific, and one is a unoaked Chardonnay, and the other one is a Shiraz, and those are probably, or Chardonnay, white grape variety, probably the most widely planted white grape variety in the world, but definitely in Australia it's a very widely planted grape. And then Shiraz, I think most people associate Shiraz with Australia, so I think it is actually the most planted red grape variety in Australia as well. So yeah, two fairly classic examples of Australian wine that we've got.
I should say that my local Aldi had sold out of the Chardonnay, so I had to get a different Chardonnay, which was suspiciously £4.19. It's also from Australia, which makes you think, how the hell do you get a wine from Australia for £4? And I'm going to hold it up to the camera, but for the listener, it looks like urine. It's kind of in a clear bottle. It's very yellow. But and I gave Becca and my girlfriend a glass before we started recording, and she reviewed it as minging.
Really? Okay, well that's a good start. I mean, what you've kind of done there, Matt, is by not bringing the right wine, it's kind of like the wine tasting equivalent of forgetting your PE kit for school. So you have to do it in your pants instead. So. Okay, great. Okay, so I think, I mean, I can kind of talk a little bit more about the grapes, or do you want to just get stuck into the wine and we can kind of I can kind of take you through kind of the proper way to taste wine.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, we'll just go straight. Well, yeah, we don't need any of the other information. We'll just go straight onto the tasting. So, should we start with the white? Do you guys want to pour yourself some white?
I'd love to start with the white.
Yeah.
I need to give time for the Shiraz to warm up. I really am sorry about that, Hugh. I mean, maybe
That's the thing, though. Don't Spanish people put red wine in the fridge?
In Spain,
Carla puts red wine
common.
in the Dominican Republic. I saw her putting a bottle of red into a fridge in 2016 in Oxford, and I thought to myself, what the hell are you doing? And I've done the same. So maybe it looks as if I have been to Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
So.
Is this the equivalent of your holiday to the Dominican Republic getting cancelled? Instead, you've replaced it by putting red wine in the fridge. It's like you're there.
It feels close to what the experience would have been like on those tropical beaches, eating the local delicacies and experiencing the local music and culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. A big glass of cold red wine on the beach.
That's it. Here we are, Hugh. We, for the world listener, I'm holding up a glass of the Chardonnay Padthaway.
Padthaway. Yeah, it's not an easy thing to pronounce, but I looked it up, and it's a small region of South Australia that produces wine. But yeah, it's not something I'd heard of. Okay, so I guess the first thing with wine tasting, you've got it in the glass, and it's actually just looking at the wine. So I suppose the first thing you kind of look at is the clarity.
Yeah, you're breaking up, Hugh. Oh god.
Okay.
Oh no.
Can you hear me? Can you?
You're back now.
Yeah.
Say again. You're back.
Yeah, we missed all that.
Okay.
Who are you?
Okay. Yeah, sorry. What? Have you seen a dog? No. Okay. So where did I get to? So I said the first thing with wine tasting, once you've got it in the glass, is obviously the appearance of the wine. So how does it look in the glass? So the first thing would be the kind of clarity. So, I mean, usually one of the first things you can tell about a wine is if it's kind of in good condition, if it's gone off or not, is if it's gone cloudy in the bottle. And that can happen for a few different reasons. So first impressions, just very quickly, look at the wine. Is it clear? Mine is. I don't know about you two.
Yeah, mine's clear.
My wine
yellow.
is crystal, yellow crystals.
Crystal clear. Okay, well, yeah. Okay, so you kind of gone to the next bit, which is the colour. So for kind of white wines, depending on the grape variety and how old it is, the kind of colour ranges from kind of very pale lemon to almost like a deep kind of amber colour for either kind of very old white wines that have oxidised, or kind of other kind of rare styles. So with your Chardonnays, what kind of colour would you say it is?
Do you want to kick us off, Matt?
Yeah, I kind of I'd kind of say it's getting towards apple juice or kind of first piss of the day, kind of
wow,
like a deep yellow.
Okay.
Well, why would you say that is, Hugh? Because I'm guessing this isn't a rare variety.
No, okay, so quite a dark colour. So that kind of dark. I mean, it's a Chardonnay. So the colour can come from a few things. Either when they've pressed the juice, they've allowed the skins to sit with the juice for a couple of hours, or sometimes even days at a time. And some of the kind of colour compounds in the skins of the grapes will go into the juice and will make the wine appear darker. Probably in this case, for your, how much did you say it was? £4.19.
Yeah.
I suspect that hasn't been done because that's kind of usually quite a costly practice. So it's probably diseased fruit, probably I'd say.
Good stuff.
So yeah, when they pick the grapes, if there's a bit of disease on the bunches, that can often lead to a kind of darker colour. Or just very, very ripe grapes, in fact. They don't even need to be kind of rotting, but just I mean, especially with Chardonnay, the more ripe the bunches get, the browner they get. And yeah, brown grapes produces darker coloured wine.
Interesting. We're already learning. This is great.
So yeah. No, that's really it is interesting that you've got seeing the comparisons between the two.
I like the idea with the factory. I imagined the winery where this particular bottle that Matt has managed to obtain whilst they were picking the grapes, there being a sign which says bruised grapes, and then another sign, or maybe even a scarecrow with the name Matt on it. So the sign, the arrow points at Matt. So they knew they wanted to get this bottle to you, and I mean, how do you feel about getting essentially bruised grapes, Matt?
Yeah, I think I'm not surprised. I knew there'd be a reason why it was so cheap, and mouldy grapes makes sense. I have a question here.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I don't know if Mark, you ever went to visit the winery he worked at in Brighton, but it was, I'd say, a reasonably small operation. How many employees were there? Like 2 full-time employees?
Yeah, two permanent guys in production. Yeah,
and maybe like how many tanks of wine? Like 8 tanks or something.
It's probably about 20 tanks.
Oh, 20. Okay. So, and how would you? And if you had to imagine the winery where this £4.19 bottle in Australia was made, how would you imagine?
How many tanks do they have?
And how many employees?
Yeah, so I mean, some of these kind of big industrial wineries in Australia, I mean, so their kind of capacity for making wine will be in the millions of litres, rather than the kind
what
of.
What were you?
We were kind of producing about 70,000 litres of wine a year,
Right.
Which I mean sounds like, I mean, if you think about 70,000 litres of wine, that's a lot of wine, but if you're trying to make wine that's £4.19, you need to obviously up your scales of production. So you need to be producing millions of litres of the stuff. So yeah, probably a very large factory. Imagine a very large factory with hundreds of employees. Like I don't know. Like, have you ever seen Greg Wallace's The Factory?
I have. Yeah.
So I mean, those kind of like the kind of Ribena production facility.
Yeah, like a proper
for example.
factory.
Yeah, like a proper factory.
Is it the sort of factory where if there's a potential investor and they get shown around said factory, it's appropriate, if they're serious about investing, for them to hold their hands behind their back as they stroll up and down the tanks? That sort of, because I feel like larger factories really sort of lend themselves to that sort of body language.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty spot on. Actually, I think that's exactly what they're like.
Okay. Does anyone want to Hugh, shall I explain what colour I think I'm getting from this?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, so
particular
I mean,
Chardonnay?
at least we have the same wine, so I'd be really interested to know kind of, yeah, talk me through the clarity and the colour, and also if you think it's kind of pale or kind of medium or deep in kind of colour intensity.
So, for the listener, just to explain what I'm doing, I'm holding the wine up to the camera, and I would explain the colour as a sort of a pale blush, sort of lemon yellow hue. So yeah, that's what I'd say. I wouldn't say I wouldn't say what Matt said in terms of it being a morning piss colour. I'd say, I mean, it could be, but it looks reasonably well kept, healthy.
Less mouldy grapes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd say it's I'd say it's a kind of pale lemon colour. It's definitely yellow rather than green, but it is quite a pale kind of delicate colour. Yeah, no, it looks good. Okay, so that's the appearance. So the next step is the nose. So so the proper way to kind of smell wine is kind of you can put your nose all the way into the glass. Instead of don't kind of inhale deeply, just kind of take lots of kind of small sniffs and see. And you can also give the wine a little bit of a swirl as well, just to get a bit of oxygen in there and help release some of those kind of aroma compounds.
So is movement associated with the release of aromas in wine? How does that work exactly?
Well, it's quite it's kind of a chemical process where you're swirling the wine, so you're kind of splashing it and getting oxygen in there, and as these they call them volatile compounds oxidize, they kind of lift or kind of float out of the wine with your nostril, and you're able to smell them.
It smells. I mean, shall I? Since
you can go. What are you getting, Mark?
Well, I'm getting citrus notes.
Okay.
I'm getting citrusy notes.
Oh yeah, no reading the back label.
No, haven't read the back label. In terms of the citrusy notes, there's a degree of lemon, sort of sour lemon and potentially sour apple.
Okay, yeah.
Interesting.
And I think, yeah, definitely lemon.
Okay.
And sour.
I'm really struggling. I'm not very good at describing.
Makes for a good wine show.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It smells like wine.
Yeah, I mean, Matt, you visited several wineries, so really you should be pro at this.
I think one of the issues I'm having is one of the predominant smells I'm getting is the smell of like a glass that's been sat on the drying rack for a while.
So we've kind of suspect that the grapes might not have been the best quality to produce your wine. So on the nose, can you kind of smell anything? I don't know, maybe kind of any kind of vinegary smell or anything.
I was gonna
that?
say, like it smells like alcohol, like ethanol.
Okay, right. Okay.
Is that a tasting note? I don't know. Like it just smells.
No,
like,
I think it is. I think when what's the ABV on there?
13%.
Okay, I mean it's kind of high for a white wine, but it's not so high that the ethanol will kind of dominate.
Yeah, maybe it is more of a vinegary thing then.
Now that you mention that, Matt, because I think Hugh and I are both sitting on 13.5%, and I can actually pick up that rather boozy scent.
Yeah.
Is that the smell of wine that we're smelling?
I beg your pardon?
Is that the smell of wine? Yeah.
Yeah. It's
boozy.
Yeah.
It's very boozy.
I'm hoping I'm gonna get more out of the red. I'm struggling.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll kind of tell you what I think. This is actually a really nice. It has got a nice nose. It's I am getting some citrus and that kind of green apple aroma, but I think there's kind of riper fruit there as well. I think there's kind of bit of white peach. Yeah, maybe kind of very slight, kind of maybe unripe pineapple, something like that. There is a slightly more tropical nose on this.
I feel the unripe, slightly acidic pineapple just a bit too premature to be cutting up and putting in a fruit salad. Like it's not quite there, but it's close, but it's not exactly where you envisage it to be.
Maybe 2 more days and it's good to go. Yeah.
So we're moving on to tasting it now, or is there another step?
So you can actually drink it now. We've actually managed to go quite a long time without actually drinking it.
Is there any kind of do we need to do anything specific?
I mean, maybe just take a sip, and I mean, what the kind of pros do is take a sip, hold the wine in your mouth, and then kind of breathe in gently through your mouth. And that's the kind of slurping that you kind of sometimes see people do. And again, that's kind of the same as swirling it in the glass. It's getting oxygen into the wine to release some of those flavour compounds. And it should just intensify all the flavours.
And
so,
Hugh, do you ever close your eyes when you do that? Is that something you'd ever close your eyes doing?
I don't think it makes much of a difference.
I'll try.
So I'm sure some people swear by it, but I've never found it to make much of a difference.
I'm getting cantaloupe melons.
Oh, really? Interesting. Okay.
Antelope, sorry.
Cantaloupe.
Antelopes.
Well, speaking of antelope, I thought whilst we enjoy the first bottle, world listeners, because
Are we drinking both bottles?
Yeah, I was going to say, are we drinking the whole bottles?
Oh no, we're not going to finish the whole bottle necessarily.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
It's going to be a long episode. It's going to be a good one to edit.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of hot topics / questions for Hugh. There's only a couple, and they are related to the wine.
Okay.
The first question I have for Hugh is: do you enjoy wine around campfires? If so, why? And if not, why?
Enjoy wine around campfires. I mean, it's not an activity that I kind of actively seek out. But I think wine is something that can be. I mean, I'm going to sound like a kind of salesman here, but I think wine is something that can be enjoyed in lots of different settings. And I suppose if you were sitting around a campfire with a nice glass of wine, I think that would be very enjoyable.
When was the last time you were at a campfire?
And when was the last time I had? Interestingly, I did light the chimney on Monday, so that's kind of
campfire.
Oh yeah, okay. So I lit the chimney in the garden on Monday. So I suppose that's kind of like a campfire, isn't it? I mean,
did you have any
wine?
wine?
There wasn't. No, I actually had a can of beer.
I taking it back to the wine tasting. What are some of the strangest tasting notes you've heard people say, or maybe yourself have thought?
So there's one great variety that I know you've drunk a lot of, Matt, that inspires quite a lot of weird tasting notes, and that's Riesling.
Oh yeah, my fave.
Some of the tasting notes I've heard for that have been, when you've got a can of tennis balls,
wow,
and you open up the, you kind of break the seal and you peel the kind of metal lid off for the first time.
Wimbledon balls,
and you have that kind of tennis ball infused air that's inside.
Amazing.
And you get that kind of blasted in your face as you're opening the tube. I've heard a lot of people describe Rieslings, especially kind of very dry, kind of mineral Rieslings from Germany,
It's
those
interesting
terms.
that you mentioned
Wow.
tennis, Hugh, because on our last episode, we had some great feedback from a friend of mine from Oxford when I was studying the architecture there, and Oliver said that the feature about we talked about Wimbledon briefly, and we talked about the fact that Sue Barker, one of Matt's favourites, is not going to be on the air, if you will, this summer.
Oh really? No, I didn't realise
Wimbledon's
that.
been cancelled, and my question to you is: out of any famous actor, and it can be sort of any age actor, who do you think, given the right training, and by training I mean we're going to have Andy Roddick available to train said actor, who do you feel, given 1 year preparation, could play at Wimbledon and not embarrass themselves, if anyone? And just go with whatever your instincts are. Don't read into it too much.
Well, I think I thought you were going to ask me which actor would I have to play Sue Barker in a biopic about her winning
answer that
Wimbledon.
one as well, because she never won Wimbledon.
Well, no, well, I mean
It's the same answer.
Yeah, I was going to say the name that just came into my mind straight away would be Charlize Theron.
Wow.
The actress.
Okay.
I think she
Nice.
I think she could do a really good Sue Barker.
A young Sue
She's probably
Barker.
she's probably about a foot taller than Sue
Yeah.
Barker, but
Better. She'll have a better serve.
Yeah.
probably, yeah. I mean, I'm not actually sure what Sue Barker's game was. Was she a serve-volleyer or? I don't know.
Could not tell you. A bit before our time.
I think
It's weird that it's weird that we're talking about tennis, because I have a birthday present. We should mention it was Hugh's birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday, world
Yes,
listeners.
happy birthday.
Drop your comments. Hugh, the in-house wine expert and calculated Drivel Freedom Frontier lockdown session, is 28 years old. Or 28 for our Spanish listeners. Any other languages that people can help out on? Hugh, French.
Comment down below.
Acton Zwanzig.
Matt, any others?
I was I don't know,
Van Wheat.
Van Wheat. Yes.
Van Wheat. Van Wheat's how I transport my wheat.
Oh, really? And you do have a van. So.
Anyway, I was going to say that the team here at Calculated Drivel have got you a present here.
Oh, really?
And weirdly, it is tennis related. I don't know when. Should we?
I think
now,
we
or
should
you
do
wanna-
this right damn now.
Right, okay.
Sorry for my.
Okay, I actually can't see you, Matt. So if you show it up to the screen, I'm not going to be able to see it.
I'm not. I'm gonna. It's actually. I'm going to share something in the chat for this call.
Wow. What technology?
And you need to download this video, and we're all gonna watch it at the same time. So let me know when you've got it ready. Just a caveat. I thought it'd be funny. It's actually really weird, and I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you any more about it.
Okay, so we're going to listen in, and
Have you got
I
it?
can see you've sent us something here.
Yes, I can see it in the chat. Yeah.
So should we both
are you
just
ready?
play on it at the same time?
Yeah, we should all watch
do
it
we
at the
count
same
this
time.
in, Matt?
Okay, on the count of 3. All right, I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, play. All right, 3,
Okay.
2, 1,
1.
play.
Okay.
Hi Hugh, happy birthday. Just wanted to wish you a wonderful day on your birthday. Hope you get spoiled by your loved ones. I hope you are able to have the best time possible under the circumstances, I'm sure. I hear that you are a big fan of tennis and of me, so I really appreciate that. And your friend Matt is telling you that you need to get back on court to practice ASAP. So that didn't come from me, that came from Matt. But happy birthday.
Wow.
Is that Joanna Konta?
Yeah, it's Joanna Konta.
What the hell?
#1 female tennis player.
Why? What on earth? What on earth? What the hell?
Cost me 22 quid, that.
What, 22 pounds?
It was unbelievable.
Oh my god. That is the most ridiculous birthday present I've ever received.
But Matt, it's a success.
Wow, Britain's #1.
What a success in terms of a birthday
Which
gift.
then...
You're lucky you didn't get Tony
then
Adams from Arsenal.
Yeah, well, I wanted to, but he's like 80 quid.
Really?
So,
I'm not sure I would have recognised Tony Adams, to be honest.
I'm surprised. Do you think you would have got... You think you would have recognised her if I didn't say it was tennis related?
No, I kind of... No, I do recognise her. I would have recognised. I think if she'd had her hair down, I would have recognised it instantly.
Normally on those videos they introduce themselves, but I like that she doesn't.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, Joanna Konta needs no introduction. Britain's #1.
She's so obscure that if you're getting a video from her, then they're probably gonna know who it is.
Yeah.
I like the idea of people. I like the idea of sending that to someone who doesn't follow tennis at all.
I've got a quiz for you related to Joanna Konta to find out how big a fan you really are. I mean, she said that you were a big fan.
Right, okay, yeah. I mean, she said that under instruction, I suspect.
Also, okay, before I get started, I said, because we're doing the wine special, that you're a winemaker, and if she's got any wine anecdotes, I'd love to hear them. But then she just completely ignored that, so... I guess it was,
right.
You get what you pay for with these people. Tony Adams has already gone on for about
22.
5 minutes.
22 quid. Unbelievable. God, times must be really hard. I guess the tour is suspended, so they're not actually earning any prize money at the moment.
They must be struggling off those millions that they win at these tournaments like the Toronto Masters and Cincinnati.
Wow.
Who knows about
questions,
Cincinnati? There's a question.
Don't get ahead of yourself. Right, question 1 here. Where was Joanna Konta, Great Britain's #1 tennis player, born?
I think South Africa. I think Cape Town, maybe.
That is incorrect.
Oh, it's
Sydney. Sydney, Australia.
Sydney. Oh, yeah. Okay.
And
I think Australia.
She represented Australia between 2008 and 2012.
Wow.
Question 2, how old is she? You've seen her.
That's a tough one. I hope she's not listening.
She will be.
If you are listening,
is she a regular listener of the show?
Not that we know of, but there's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people listening.
That's true.
Write in. Send me another video.
Yeah, of the millions of listeners, she could be one of them. How old is Joanna Konta? I think she could be the same age as me, actually. I think she could be 28.
She's 29.
But wow.
Okay.
Good guess.
That's a hell of a guess, Hugh. That's a good one. One off.
And 2 more questions.
Okay.
I know, 3 more questions, sorry. How many major titles has she won?
Is that kind of WTA Tour titles?
No, I mean Grand Slam.
Grand Slams, okay. 0.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
And how many titles in general?
She's a good player, but it's a very competitive sport, and there's some really good players at the moment. So I think it must be single figures. I think she's won 6 titles.
It's 3.
Oh, okay.
You're in the right ballpark.
Where do you think she would have won, Hugh? Sorry, Matt, I've added a question to the quiz. Which cities in the world do you think she could have won? Where do you think she'd play well? Does she like clay? Does she like grass? or grass?
I don't have the answers.
Okay, well, why not?
Why not? Cheers, by the way, Hugh. Cheers.
Okay, well,
thank you for joining us tonight.
Cheers.
Happy birthday. Feliz cumpleaños.
Thank you.
And it's great to see you. Carla said to me, Carla, my girlfriend who I live with, she said to me the other day, she misses the calculated Drivel, most reasonable wine expert in the world, Hugh. She said she missed seeing Hugh and having a chat with Hugh. So I'm gonna pass
she didn't say
that
the
on.
most reasonable wine expert.
But we can all vouch for that, and we're happy to have you on the show, Hugh.
I'm just gonna finish the quiz before I get derailed.
Okay.
What is her total career prize money?
Oh.
Bearing in mind she's only won 3 titles.
Yeah, how long has she been a pro for? Say, what, 10 years?
I can't answer that. No follow-up question.
No, okay. I'm gonna say...
In dollars, sorry, US dollars.
In US dollars, okay. I'm gonna say $3 million.
I was quite surprised by this. $9.4 million.
Wow, that is very good. Wow, that's
bad.
pretty serious. I mean, she does generally go quite far in the Grand Slams, and once you get to the quarterfinals, you do start to get some decent cash. So,
she's got to the semi-final of all the majors apart from the US Open, so she's doing all right.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's it. Joanna Konta, everyone.
Wow.
His favourite tennis player.
There we go.
I have all the subjects we discuss, or all the celebrities I thought I would get a recorded birthday message from during this podcast. I think Joanna Konta would have been pretty low down on the list. So,
interestingly,
interesting.
Hugh and Matt. Matt, I don't know if you know about this fact. I'd say about Hugh, but Hugh has a soft spot for a female music artist who performs well. She's performed in Manchester before, I think, and right. I'm pretty sure actually. And interestingly, I listened to her the other day. Hugh, would you like to unveil who I might be referring to as?
Is it Sophie Ellis-Bextor?
No, but
Yes, it is. Spot on.
I wasn't thinking of Sophie Ellis-Bextor, but I like her work as well. It is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, go on.
All I'm going to say is Ariana Ande, and you can fill in the blanks.
Oh, okay. Ariana Grande. Yeah, I don't actually recall saying... yeah, I think so. I think it just reminds me of just driving through Los Angeles with my girlfriend, playing it really loudly on the radio. So I think it's not so much the artist, more the associations I have with the artist. But yeah, she's got some good.
Should we try and get Ariana Grande on for an episode?
Yeah, comment down below if you're listening, Ariana.
Yeah,
Ariana.
Yeah. I think she'll be cheaper than what do you call it? The footballer that you were talking about.
Tony Adams. Yeah.
Yeah, Tony Adams. Yeah. She'll probably be somewhere between Joanna Konta and Tony Adams.
I think.
Yeah, that's, to be fair, that is how I would describe Ariana Grande.
yeah, no.
Somewhere between Tony Adams.
Okay, here's a question. Do you think Ariana Grande would get on well with Tony Adams if they were to do a day out in the park, playing tennis?
If they were trapped in a lift
tennis,
together.
Yeah, or a day out with a picnic in the park, friendly picnic.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know. Probably not actually. I think they both led very different. I think both led very different lives from quite different backgrounds. Not that necessarily means that they won't be friends, but there's also quite a big age difference as well.
That's true.
Maybe we can introduce them on the show.
Yeah.
Maybe get them both on.
What are your thoughts on that happy accident that it's really helped the show out, and we've been able to pay Hugh to get Hugh on with the funds that they sent through to us, and how that's all added up, really.
Well, what can I say? We're just very lucky. this is our job though, so like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Next week we'll have it. We'll have the Sex Chris CEO on, and he can tell us a bit more about the ins and outs.
I have a lot of questions.
Well, tune in.
I will. I'll tune in, and absolutely.
Well, actually, send your comment. Well, yeah, send in your questions where you can ask them.
Do you think it's time for us to, I guess, finish our glasses of white and move on to the red?
I was thinking that, yeah. I finished my white, so
the whole bottle.
I'm ready.
Oh well.
Ready when you are, yeah.
Oh.
Matt.
Should we? What were the kind of conclusions with the white? Did you both enjoy it?
It wasn't my favourite, but I didn't not enjoy it.
You didn't not enjoy it.
Yeah,
so
but
wouldn't buy again.
Wouldn't buy again, and I don't think I'd necessarily remember the flavours. I'll remember the experience, but that's mainly because of Joanna Conter.
Yeah, that was probably one of the most surreal moments of my life. Mark, how did you find the white overall?
Overall, the 2018 vintage Chardonnay from South Australia. My dad's always been a massive advocate of Aldi and Lidl and some of the deceptive wines and alcohol they do get in. And I think people shouldn't really turn their nose up on some of the nice wines and the flavours that you can. And you say it's overused, but can be enjoyed with colleagues, can be enjoyed in a garden party amongst neighbours. I liked it.
Well, not at the moment. Not at the moment. I wouldn't encourage illegal behaviour like that.
That's a good point. I've shot myself in the foot there. World listeners, do not do what I just said. Social bubbles, and if you're in the UK and you're listening, please pick up a bottle of Chardonnay, Padithway wine. We might even try to look into getting them as a new sponsor, Matt. I mean, how's Helen getting on on that front? Because we are looking to get more sponsors.
Well, I think we're quite happy with Sectress at the moment. They're bankrolling us quite nicely, and it's a quality product.
Yeah, that's very true. But yeah, I like it.
Crisps and wine, though, very good combo.
I like it, Hugh. I think it's quite. I think it's.
You like it? Okay, that's good. I think that's the important thing. I think taste is key, and if you enjoy it, you don't need to be a wine expert to enjoy wine. You just need to enjoy the overall experience, and people don't need to feel guilty for enjoying bottles of wine that cost £4.19. I think there's a lot of snobbery in wine, but I think you can get some pretty decent bottles for kind of less than £7, which we've got today.
Before we open the red, what would your advice be to the wine novice when they're looking for something to buy?
I think if you're kind of trying to get into wine, or you're trying to learn a bit more about wine, and you've already been a drinker, I'd say, do try and spend maybe a bit more than kind of, £6 is probably the kind of starting point. You do get, like I just said, you do get some good bottles for less, but the chances are it won't be great quality. Generally start at around £6 and upwards, and obviously the more you can afford, the better. And generally get wines that have the grape variety listed. So if you want to learn about particular grape varieties and you want to learn about what you enjoy, I'd say go for wines that have the grape variety on the bottle, especially at the kind of cheaper end of the spectrum, just so you can kind of get an idea of what you like and what you don't. It's a huge selection. Go nuts.
Well, go buy nuts instead.
Well, maybe nuts to go with the wine.
What nuts would you suggest?
Yeah. So that brings me on to one of my questions. Same as by the same token of Matt. If you were strolling along Aldi's aisles little by little, what would you? What snacks? What snacks would you say could work well with a large glass of Chardonnay Patathouay?
I'd say, I don't know. Probably. I love, with white wine. I love cheese and onion crisps.
Yeah.
I think
cheese and onion sex crisps, maybe.
Well, if they come in that variety.
Of course they do.
Okay.
They got over 30 varieties.
30, really? Wow. That's
over.
Do they do Worcester sauce?
I'll have to check, but I imagine.
Matt literally just received the first sample box. I think it was 33 varieties. Matt, you can confirm for me.
Yeah, something like that.
33. Wow, that's.
As we mentioned, we talked about this before you arrived, Hugh. But the selection ranges from roast dinner to Eton mass.
Right. Okay. So they come in kind of dessert flavors as well.
Yeah. All equally sexy.
Wow,
though.
Maybe we can talk to the CEO about wine pairings.
Well, there's potential for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So the Shiraz.